we're looking at the Girder construction from the underneath, which I flipped across, and where I am so far. This piece will be flipped across, put on there, and with my Girder construction, this thing is going to raise a couple of inches down the other end. The front's going to raise down when I'm finished. But basically at this point you're seeing 6 turnout motors, and IP digital turnout motors from DCC Concepts. And on the 6 turnout motors I have 4 different accessory codes which I programmed in. You just set each one to a number and it's in there. Then you take it from set to run. There you go. So I've been using the Peco Unifrog number 6 turnouts for my basic turnouts. I am going to try some Walthers ones as well, but they are totally DCC compatible. Then I also am using the Walthers crossovers, and these are DCC compatible as well. And they got these great little knobs on the edge here for the frogs, so it really works well to sort of connect up to your frogs rather than connecting from the inside. So I put 2 of these in. What I'm using, like I said, is the Cobalt IP digital turnout motors. And then I'm using these ground signal interface boards, and these do exactly that. They interface with the signals to make the signals work. To bond the very thin strands of wire that go in there, I'm using this DC Concepts flux, and it works perfectly to sort of paint over your 22 gauge wire, which is this wire, and the extremely thin wire it's almost like a couple of strands of hair to sort of wrap around to sort of go onto the motors. I'm also using this power bus accessory package, and these are power bus wiring tag strips. And I have noticed, and they're on here, and they're perfect because you've got a good solder joint. And I found out that I've used basically you cut these strips apart and put in your bus wire. And what I found is that number 16 gauge is about the thickest wire that you can really run through those. And then I found that I do like this 22 gauge wire for my drops. Not only, and it's a solid wire, and they fit very, very nicely into these turnout motors. So basically, what I have to do at this point, I do have a couple of electromagnets, but now I'm going to turn on my DCC Concepts button. I've got 3 zones going right now. I've got a surge protector and an amp reader and a voltage reader. And for the moment, I'm using this accessory bus control cab. And at some point, I'll put a transmitter and a receiver in, so I won't need this. I'll just be using push buttons to sort of move things around. But just in my test mode, this is what I'm doing. The number 104 and number 103 happen to be just your single turnouts. They work perfectly fine just with this interface and the signals. There's not much to it. It's just a simple wiring. Then if you go down to the lights that are on, that's where the crossover is. And at first when I did the crossover, I couldn't get the lights to work. But I found out I had an interface board with each of the 2 turnout motors. I found out I only needed 1, and then I just had to have in, as you can see here, these little 3-prong adapters, which gave me the ability to turn the signals for the outer line and the inner line at the same time. So this is how it works at the moment. If I go to my cab and I select accessory 102, which this is, and I hit 2, the lights will change, And both turn out smooth at the same time, which is what I want. So select accessory 102, enter, and I've got a choice of 1 or 2. I'm going to hit 1. We put the other way, all the lights move at the same time. Again, 102, enter, 1, enter, oh. And there they go. So that's where I am at this point. Hope you enjoyed figuring out where I am. That's it for now.